What's up YouTube, Northwest Farm Dad here. Today we are going to try and fix our Solera Smart Arm awning. It is run by this controller here made by LCI, and that failed. So about 2 months ago, it started blinking right here, constant flashing green blinking light, which my research indicated that there's a water failure in the controller. You can actually reset the controller. Basically, you hold the 1, 2, 3, 4, or tap the 4 buttons and then hold the lock button for like 10 seconds and it will reset it to allow you to work the awning. So that worked for a couple weeks and now it has just completely failed. And so we have to replace it. There was a recall on these back in 2019. I can't see where there have been any design changes to the controller since then. My trailer was built in 2022. So it's 3 years old, failure, and I guess the part that's most irritating is this is a $600 part. So this thing right here is $600. So let's see if we can't get it replaced. First thing we've got to do is get the awning open because you've got to get this out of the way before you can get that out. So manually opening the awning isn't too terribly tough. You just got to climb up on a ladder. You pop a little rubber grommet off of that plastic housing, and inside there's a 10mm nut that you just have to spin. I highly recommend using a power tool to get this done because it's a lot of spins to open up the awning. You don't have to open the awning all the way. I was able to get access to what I needed by opening the awning about 18 inches. So not horrible. Just spin her open and you've got access to what you need to get the job done. All right, so getting it out is not particularly difficult. There's a spacer here, and then you can literally just pull it out. So there's a connector right here. Pops right off. You can see there's some grease there, which is fine. I think that must have been what they did to try to make these things work. And then the new one just plugs right in. So shall we see if it works? Let's turn the batteries on and try. All right, so the first thing I learned is that the awning is not controlled by the battery inverter. It's not one of those items. So first try did not work. Fortunately, I actually had my generator right there because I was sort of parked out in the boonies on my property. So all I had to do was fire up the generator, plug it in, and that got me started with getting it going. So now that I had power, the first thing I tried was, can I get the buttons on the controller to work? I had no love there at all. I did have a green light on the controller, so I thought, all right, this is better than what I had before. It's got power, and it was indicating to me that yes, the controller was a problem because this one at least had a green light on, but it was how to get to communicate with the trailer with the rest of the parts because there's an interior switch for both the lights that the controller controls, and then there's an interior switch that lets you kind of run the awning. So next thing I tried after the buttons didn't work, but I had green light, was does the interior switch work? Can I make the awning work with the interior switch? And lo and behold, yes, the interior switch was starting to function. No problem. It would bring the awning in and out at the speed that it always had before. So that, all right, we've gotten somewhere. So my next thought was, did they upgrade the controller model? Did I get the wrong one? But maybe I completed a circuit somewhere. So I thought, well, let's see if I can just reset the controller. So that's what I did. I went through again, that top 4 buttons in a row from the top to the bottom, and then holding down the very bottom button. As soon as I reset the controller, it came to life. Everything worked from the controller side. The lights worked from the controller, awning in and out from the controller, and the wind sensor button. I could also set the wind sensor for the awning. So this awning is supposed to auto close if it senses too much wind. I've never had that work for me, but it's supposed to do that. So yeah, once I plugged it in, ran through a reset, everything worked. All right, so the last piece is just putting the trim pieces back together and getting the module into its slot. Not too terribly difficult. Just kind of got to wiggle it in and then get your 2 trim pieces put in there. So I got that done. I am going to smash the old controller and see if I can figure out where the water got into it to damage it. Hoping that I can then try and figure out how to seal this new one better, because I have no doubt in my mind that this one will also fail in some number of years. So there is a way that you can completely negate this controller module. Apparently there's some RV dealerships are able to rewire the trailer so it's just the interior switches. Frankly, I figured if I took it in to do that, it was going to be $1,000. So I thought, well, let's see if I can make it work with a $600 controller. And I'm frankly just not handy enough to do that myself. I don't want to burn my trailer to the ground. If you're good with electronics and rewiring stuff, have at it. But that's not my deal. So anyhow, I hope you like my content. Please like and subscribe, and I'll keep putting out more reviews on farm stuff, trailers, wax cotton, all that kind of stuff. Thanks.